So we will see the territorial states and the rise of Magad, how Magad rose and what was the reason behind it. So we will see first what is Mahajanpadas. The Pali text, as per the Pali text show that the Janpadas grew into Mahajanpadas, that is large states or countries. Okay, there is a small state or place or country will grow into large state or place or a country. And in the age of Buddha, we find 16 large states called Mahajanpadas. So I have made a video about on the Buddha and Mahavira also, so you can go and look it into my channel. So, and most of these states arose in the upper and mid Gangetic plains, and including the Dab area covered by the Ganges and their tributaries. Okay, so we will know about what what is the short form or like short notes on the Magad, like what kind of place is Magad. So Anga kingdom, for if we see about Magad, that Anga kingdom covered the modern district of Mungir, like right now it is in Bihar, like Mungir and Bhagalpur. So Anga kingdom right now modern districts of Munger and Bhagalpur. Anga kingdom had its capital at Champa. Okay, and the kingdom was swallowed by its powerful neighbor Magad. The Magad embraced the former district of Patna, Gaya and parts of the Shahabad and grew it into leading state of the time. That its earlier capital was Rajgir and Patliputra. That is, this kingdom was swallowed by its powerful, that Anga kingdom was swallowed by its powerful neighbor Magad, which comprised of like Patna, Gaya and parts of Shahabad, and grew into leading state of the time. Its earlier capital was Rajgir and Patliputra. So what are the facts and figure of rise and growth of the Magad Empire? Okay, so we will see in part wise part, like facts and figures for the growth of Magad Empire. Okay, so we will see it part wise part. That is part 1. Magad came into prominence under the leadership of Bimbisara of the Haryanka dynasty and the contemporary of Buddha. Okay, so and he began the policy of conquest and aggression, which ended with the Kalinga War of Ashoka. So it was started that it was during the Buddha period that Magad came into prominence under the leadership of Bimbisara of the Haryanka dynasty and a contemporary of the Buddha, that he was from the Buddha period. Okay, and he began the policy of conquest and aggression, which ended with the Kalinga War of Ashoka. Okay, the Bimbisara acquired Anga near Bhagalpur, Bihar. That was, I already told about Anga kingdom. So Bimbisara acquired Anga, that was near Bhagalpur, Bihar, and placed it under the viceroyalty of his son Ajatashatru at Champa. That is, present place is known as Chhattisgarh. Okay, that this Champa, the present place is Chhattisgarh. Okay, and he also strengthened his position by marriage alliances, and he had 3 wives. Okay, the first wife, I'll explain it here, it is actually a little bit complex. So through Kalinga War, okay, and Bimbisara acquired Anga, that is near Bhagalpur, Bihar, and placed it under the viceroyalty of his son Ajatashatru at Champa. Okay, Champa, that is present place Chhattisgarh, and he also strengthened his position by marriage alliance. 3 wives were there were 3 wives. So first wife was the daughter of king of Koshala. First wife, daughter of king Koshala, and the sister of Prasen Ajit, the son and successor of Koshalan king. Okay, and as a dowry of Kashi village yielding a revenue of 1 lakh was given to Bimbisara. Bimbisara got, like, as a dowry a Kashi village. He got a Kashi village that was yielding a revenue of 1 lakh. Okay, that was given to Bimbisara. Thus he became the free of hostile of Koshala. Now the hostility from the Koshala was over, because he had married with the king, the daughter of king of Koshala. Now his second wife, he was the Chelna was Lichvi princess from Vaishali, who gave birth to Ajatashatru. That Chelna was Lichvi princess from Vaishali, who gave birth to Ajatashatru. And the third wife was the daughter of the chief of the Madra clan of Punjab. that daughter of the chief of Madra clan of Punjab. So thus marriage relations with the different princely families lent enormously diplomatic prestige and paved the way for the expansion of Magad westward and northward. That it means the first strategy was to clear his hostility from the neighbor, where he started through the marriage policy. So he had 3 wives and he removed the hostility from the neighbor areas. And this was the part 2, where Magad's most serious rival was Avanti, with its capital Ujjain, that was in Madhya Pradesh. Bimbisara and its king Chanda Pradyut fought each other, but eventually they wisely make up. How? Later, Pradyota suffered with the jaundice, and at Avanti's king requested Bimbisara that sent the royal physician Jivka to Ujjain, and Bimbisara is also said to have received an embassy and a letter from the ruler of Gandhar, with which Pradyota had fought unsuccessfully. Therefore, though his conquest and diplomacy, Bimbisara made Magad the dominant state in the 6th century BC, and his kingdom is said to have 80,000 villages. The earliest capital of Magad was at Rajgir, which was called Grivraj. At that time, it was surrounded by 5 hills, and the opening in which were closed by stone walls on all sides, which made it impregnable. So what is this part 2? That Magad's most serious rival was Avanti, with its capital Ujjain, that is as current Madhya Pradesh. Ujjain is still in there. So Bimbisar and its king Chand Pradyota fought each other, but eventually they wisely make up. How? That later Pradyota suffered with jaundice, and at Avanti's, that the most serious Magad was the most serious rival of Avanti's, with its capital Ujjain. So at Avanti's, king request Bimbisara send the royal physician Jivka to Ujjain. Okay. And Bimbisara has found it a very great opportunity. So Bimbisara is also said to have received an embassy and letter from the ruler of Gandhar, with which Pradyota had fought unsuccessfully. That just try to understand that Bimbisara is said to have received an embassy of and a letter from the ruler of Gandhar, with which Pradyota had fought unsuccessfully. That Pradyota lost the war from Gandhar. So therefore, through this conquest and diplomacy, Bimbisara made Magad the dominant state in 6th century BC. Bimbisara made dominance state Magad in 6th century BC, and his kingdom is said to have around 80,000 villages, and the earliest capital of Magad was at Rajgir, which was at Giriraj at that time, and it was surrounded by 5 hills, as I have said earlier, and the opening which were closed by stone walls from all sides, which made it impregnable. that this is one of the most important. The earliest Magad was capital of Magad was at Rajgir, which was called Grivraj at the time. It was surrounded by 5 hills, the opening in which were closed by stone walls on all sides, which made it impregnable. Okay. So this was the one of the reasons. First, his marriage policy. Second, he helped, like one of the most rival was Avanti, and he covered with Avanti's king by giving him his royal physician, and who cured him from jaundice. And the second, the Magad capital was at Rajgir, which was surrounded by 5 hills, so it was completely impregnable at that time. And the part 3, that is second last, that according to Buddhist chronicles, Bimbisara ruled for 52 years, roughly about 544 to 492 BC. So he was succeeded by his son Ajatashatru. By killing his father, he killed Bimbisara and seized the throne for himself. He pursued an aggressive policy of expansion. They provoked a combination of Kashi and Koshala against him. This provoked, like he killed his father, and due to his aggressive policy, let me write it here, that he was succeeded by his son Ajatashatru, that Bimbisara. How? By killing his father and seized the throne for himself. And due to his aggressive policy of expansion, provoked a combination Kashi and Koshala against him. There began a prolonged conflict between Magad and Koshala. So after that, there was a prolonged, like long conflict between Magad and Koshala, and eventually Ajatashatru got the best of the war, and Koshalan king was compelled to purchase peace by giving his daughter to the marriage to Ajatashatru and leaving him in sole possession of Kashi. But he was no respect. But the person who killed his father, will he respect any relationship? What do you think? That he has killed his father for the throne, so he will not respect that marriage relationship like his father was doing so. So to purchase peace, Koshalan king gave his daughter in marriage to Ajatashatru and leaving him in sole possession of Kashi. Kashi was given to him, but he was no respect of relation, as you know, but he was no respect of relations, which can be seen that he has killed his father. Although his mother was from Lichvi princess, this did not prevent him from making war against Vaishali. He was even declared war against Vaishali as his mother was from Lichvi princess. He invaded this territory and defeated them in battle. This took him full 16 years, and the Magad empire was thus enlarged with the addition of Kashi and Vaishali. That Kashi was already taken by him, and even he fought war with Vaishali, from where his mother was there, that Lichvi. His mother was from Lichvi, and he invaded the territory and defeated them in battle. This took in full 16 years, and the Magad empire was thus enlarged with the addition of Kashi and Vaishali. That Magad empire get enlarged by adding Kashi and Vaishali. And the part 4, last part, this is a small part, that Ajatashatru faced a strong rival in the ruler of Avanti. As I had said, like above, Avanti was capital of Ujjain, where Bimbisar helped by sending his royal physician, to cure the king of at that time through jaundice. So in the part 4, Ajatashatru faced a strong rival in the ruler of Avanti, and Avanti had defeated the Vatsas of Kaushambi and now threatened an invasion of Magad. Now Avanti is threatening, and to meet this threat, Ajatashatru began the fortification of his empire in Rajgir and the remains of wall which can still be seen. However, the invasion did not materialize during his lifetime, and his reign was succeeded by Udain. That Ajatashatru faced a strong rival in the ruler of Avanti. Avanti had defeated the Vatsa of Kaushambi and now threatened an invasion of Magad. To meet this threat, Ajatashatru began the fortification of Rajgir, the remains of walls which can still be seen. However, the invasion did not materialize during his lifetime, and his reign was succeeded by Udain, and Udain 460 to 444 BC. Okay, so why does the reign of Udain is important? Like Udain is another reign. 40 Udain is another reign. So what I will tell that what happens in Udain's time. So he it is the Udain reign is important because he is said to have built a fort at the confluences of the Ganga and the Son at Patna. This was done because Patna lay at the center of Magad kingdom, which not extended from the Himalayas in the north to the hills of Chota Nagpur in the south. That in the north of Patna there is Himalaya, and in the south is the Chota Nagpur plateau. So Udain was succeeded by the dynasty of Shishu Nagas, who temporarily moved the capital to Vaishali, and their greatest achievement was the destruction of the power of Avanti with its capital at Ujjain. He destructed the power of Avanti and the capital at Ujjain. This brought to an end of 100-year-old rivalry between Magadhan and Avanti. So now 100-year end of Magadhan and Avanti rivalry. How? Udain was succeeded by the dynasty of Shishu Nagas, who temporarily moved the capital to Vaishali, and their greatest achievement was the destruction of the power Avanti with its capital at Ujjain. This brought to an end the 100-year-old rivalry Magad and Avanti. Avanti then became a part of the Magadhan Empire and continued to so till the end of Mauryan Empire. And again the Shishu Nagas were succeeded by the Nandas, who proved to be the most powerful rulers of Magad. So great was their power that Alexander, who invaded Punjab at that time, dared not to move to the east because of them only. And the Nandas extended the Magadhan Empire by conquering Kalinga, from where they brought an image of Jina as a victory of trophy. All this took place during the reign of Mahapadmananda. This ruler claimed to be Ikarat, the sole sovereign who had destroyed all the other ruling princes. It seems that captured not only Kalinga but also Koshala Chhattisgarh, which had probably rebelled against him. So it is not important, just I have tell you that for this story kind of things. So what were the causes of Magad's success? The causes are that the largest city in India during this period was a result of several enterprising and ambitious rulers such as Bimbisara, Ajatashatru and Mahapadmananda. That largest state in India during this period and had a several enterprising and ambitious rulers such as Bimbisara, Ajatashatru and Mahapadmananda. For Nanda, just I have narrated the story. That again I am narrating it, that the Shishu Nagas were succeeded by the Nandas, that in the above here I have given the story. So the Shishu Nagas were succeeded by the Nanda, who proved to be the most powerful rulers of Magad. And so the great of he was so great that at that time Alexander stopped and did not invade it at that time, who invaded Punjab at that time but did not dare to move to the east. And Nanda extended the Magadhan power by conquering Kalinga, from where they brought an image of Jina as a victory. This is the story. Okay, so the largest state during that period, and several enterprising and ambitious rulers such as Bimbisara, Jatshatru, and Mahapadnanda. And the second, Magad enjoyed an advantageous geographical position. Enjoyed advantageous geographical position in the age of iron, because the richest iron deposits were situated not far away from Rajgir, the earliest capital of Magad. As a result, they were equipped with effective weapons which were not easily available for their rivals. Okay. And the third, the two capitals of Magad, the first Rajgir and the second at Patliputra, were situated at very strategic points. That two capitals of Magad, that is Rajgir and Patliputra, were at a strategic location. That is Rajgir, as I have said, that Rajgir was surrounded by 5 hills, and so it was impregnable in those days. There was no easy means of storming citadels or such as cannons at that time to break those things. And in the 5th century, Magad princes shifted their capital from Rajgir to Patliputra, which occupied a pivotal position commanding communication on all sides. That in Patliputra, when they shift to the Patliputra in the 5th century BC, so they got pivotal position commanding communication on all sides. How? Confluencing Ganga was there, Gandak is there, and the Son, and the fourth reacher was Ghagra, that joined the Ganges not far from Patliputra. So in pre-industrial days, when communication were difficult, the army could not move north, south, east and west. The army could move, like, because of these rivers, the army could move north, south, east and west by the following the courses of rivers. Okay, so this was the most important point about their location. And Magad lay at the center of mid-Gangetic plains. The Ganges provide the means of both transport and agriculture facilities. That Magadhan lay at the center of the mid-Gangetic plains, and the Ganga providing a means of both transport and agriculture facilities. There was an abundance of timber, as can be seen in the palisades of the 6th century BC found south of Patna, that Megasthenes speaks of the wooden walls and houses in Patliputra. Thus boats could be easily manufactured, and they played an important part in promoting the advances of Magad towards the east and west. That abundance of timber which made easily manufacturing of boats. Even we can see most of the houses were made of that wood only, and they were very strong. Environmental factors conducive to the agriculture helped Magad, that the alluvium once cleared of jungles provide immensely fertile. The heavy rainfall made the area productive even without the irrigation. They used to produce varieties of paddy, as mentioned in Buddha's text also. And Magad enjoyed a special advantage in the military organization. How? Although the Indian states were well acquainted with the use of horses and chariots, it was Magad which first used elephants and he gets supplied from the eastern part of the country on a large scale in its war against the neighbors. That Magad enjoyed a special advantage in military organization, although the Indian states were well acquainted with the use of horses and chariots. It was Magad which first used the elephants, from where they supplied from the eastern part of the country, on a large scale in the wars against its neighbors. Okay, this video was little bit lengthy and large, and I was slow also in that time. So from next time I will make it fix or a little bit fast. Okay, thank you. For any doubt, see the description from where you can ask, where we have mentioned the detail from where you can ask the doubts. Thank you.